Okay, welcome to another video with conversations at a bench, at a park, in a park. So, my name is Helen. Welcome to my story, my testimony about how God is leading me to my future kingdom husband in marriage and the lessons I have learned and am learning along the way. So, welcome to my story, welcome to my journey. And so, we are in the series of escape. And now we're actually transitioning into trauma. And so in the last video, I was speaking about the impact that we have on men when we leave relationships. And I was speaking about how I realized when I broke off with my ex, how it impacted him, and I had no idea how I'd been selfish by thinking of myself, what Helen wanted, what Helen needed, but I neglected to think that he has feelings too, and my decisions impacted him. And so we're on this journey speaking about the impact this has on men and about trauma, and that's where we kind of left off. And so, it really made me think and appreciate, not appreciate, but really have some sort of compassion for men. I feel like we're a little hard on men, especially as Black women. I feel like we're a little hard on our men, my personal opinion. But we don't realize that these men are walking around, a lot of them, they just broken. They're broken. They're hurting. They traumatize, and yet we command them to be strong, to step forward and be a man. But some of them don't know how to be a man because they never had a role model. And so I just want to speak to both women and men right now, to my fellow sisters. Let's be more compassionate. Let's be more compassionate towards our men, realizing that they may be going through issues that we don't recognize, that is portrayed in the way that they behave. And honestly speaking, think about it, if a man has grown up without a father figure in his life, without good role models, how do you expect them to be good men? Where are they going to learn that from? And if society is not providing that kind of service or that kind of community, where are they going to learn that from? It's almost like we expect them to just be good men, but how are they going to learn that? So let's be more compassionate, ladies, with our men. Let's be more compassionate. And let me touch on this whole growing up without father figures. Because as I look back with my ex, him telling me that I abandoned him, that was such a strong word. And as I looked at his life, I realized, I see where that came from. Because like most African American men, he grew up in a single parent home. Parents divorced when he was young, lived with his mom. Dad moved to another state, remarried, and all that good stuff. And so he grew up without really having good role models. And I could sense some things. I could pick up on some behaviors that I realized this must be because he didn't have a dad. But I never really talked to him about that. I did talk to his mom about that, about some things. And she did reveal to me, like, yes, these behaviors are really because of him not having his dad. And he was kind of mad at his dad for leaving them. And it's so funny that I say that because yesterday, in one of the videos, I mentioned how at the other park, I met a sweet young lady who had a small boy. He was probably about 5 years old, who I thought was her son, but apparently was her nephew. And I was observing how the son was behaving. I did work with kids in pediatrics, so I kind of sense things, and I'm also pretty spiritual with that. And I noticed something with the son. When her boyfriend, who I thought was the dad, came, you kind of interacted with the son a little bit, and then he was leaving, and the girl said, oh, what, do you want to go with him? Follow him, go with him. So this little boy is looking at this man that's walking away. And I observed this. I observed how the little boy looked at the man walking away. And the way this little boy looked was, this guy is leaving me. He's abandoning me. And I paused to see, how is he going to react, this 5-year-old? So I was like, is he going to go after this man, his father? Or is he going to stay with the mom? The boy looked, observed as the man walked away. He turned around and went to his mom and hugged her and kissed her. Almost in the way like, I'm not going to leave you, even if he is. And I thought, wow, even at that age, they have that sense, they know when someone is leaving them. And so it really made me think about this whole ex thing and men, that it starts at a very young age. These feelings of abandonment, of being left. We think that children don't understand or feel it. We brush it off, but they do. And I want to encourage women, if you are a mom to young boys, and let's say you are in this kind of situation where the father is not present, be very careful. Be very careful to not, how can I put this? Speak to your sons about what is happening, about why their father is leaving. Don't assume that they're too young to understand, because as I observe this, I realize they do understand, even at a young age. They do understand abandonment. They do understand, my dad is leaving me. And so we make this mistake where we think that the children are too young to understand, and we'll let them know, we'll tell them later what really happened. I want to encourage you, no, tell them then. Ask the Lord to give you wisdom on how to explain it to your young children, especially your young boys, but do it. Explain why mommy and daddy are no longer together. Because if we don't, we run the risk of these young men, boys growing up to be men that have abandonment issues that are not addressed. And here's the thing about abandonment, trauma, pain, hurt, molestation, rape, whatever form of childhood trauma, abuse, or whatever, it always shows up. It always shows up in their lives, in our lives. It always shows up. And unfortunately, it shows up when we are grown and when we're trying to be in relationships. And that's when it starts showing its ugly head. And that's why we have people coming together, two people coming together, two broken people coming together, two unhealed people coming together, trying to complete each other, trying to find happiness with each other, trying to fill a void that no one can fill. And then we wonder why these relationships don't work out. We wonder why we get into abusive relationships. It's because of unresolved trauma, unresolved pain, unresolved hurt, unresolved abuse, unresolved molestation. And so I just want to end this video by encouraging people. First of all, as parents, speak to your children as early as possible about these issues. And if you're grown, start seeking the Lord. Say a simple prayer, Lord, show me my past. Show me why I tend to act or behave in a certain way. What is it about my past? This is a prayer I've had to pray. Lord, show me my past. Show me my childhood. What is it that I went through that is causing me to have these behaviors, that's causing me to love these men that don't love me? Show me. And I tell you something, He will. He will.